What is up? My name is Justin from Party Rental Knowledge, and this is my buddy Nick Glassett from the Jump Off. What's up, Nick?
What up?
If you don't know, we both teach like tips and tricks on the party rental industry. We're both party rental YouTubers per se.
It's so cool to hear, when we were on the phone the other day, you said YouTuber and influencer. I'm like, it's still so weird to hear that stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, influencer, I try and stay away from, but it honestly comes with the territory of actually
Right.
educating and having a face and stuff like that. But it's what you do with the influence that matters. I just try and stick to teaching people about weird stuff, about bounce houses and tents, and you do Christmas lights, don't you?
Yeah. So I'm a Christmas light contractor from about mid October ish, right? And it starts slow and then it gets crazy until about December. We hung lights this year till about December 10th, I think.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, and it's a industry that's it's kind of crazy. I got into it by accident, no joke. And but what's crazy about it is it scales year over year. So if anybody's interested in anything like that, right? So if you think about it like this, because you supply all the materials. So year one, I install a house and I charge them whatever I charge them, right? $1,200 or whatever it is. And so I've got to pay labor for my guys, and then I got to pay materials cost for socket wire, for bulbs, clips, cords, the whole nine. Then that comes down and goes into a storage bin, and then next year we reinstall for a little bit less of a price. It's about a 19-20% discount, but all the materials are bought, right? And so however much money you do in year one, you basically, that amount of revenue next year is all profit almost. And so it's a business that scales so fast year over year. It's insane.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just like party rentals, really.
Mm-hmm.
So do you get a lot of roofers to do that basically? Want the like to go do that for you, or you kind of have your own crew?
Yeah. So what I've done is, right, because the season's so small with Christmas lights that building a crew is challenging, because it's like you've got this little teeny tiny window and you're going to train them in August, September, and you have no revenue to pay them, right? So you've got to figure out how to pay them with no revenue coming in. So what I did was I just kind of took my jump off crew and just kind of shifted them over to Christmas lights. And then the jump off ended up staying so busy. One of my guys, Jacob, he literally, I think he did lights with me, like, he was like my helper 2 times. Other than that, he ran the jump off. I mean, he did almost everything except for talk to the clients, over the phone. I still did that, but and then he would kind of pick one of the guys and stick him in the truck with him, and then everybody else just came over with me. And then I did hire 2 guys specifically for Let's Get Lit. That's the name of the Christmas light company's Let's Get Lit. I hired 2 guys for that, Alex and Braden. Trained Alex as basically as fast as I could so I could get him installing on his own. Trained Braden very little, just minimal, so then he could go be Alex's helper. So then we could run multiple crews. And that's when things, really, really spiraled out of, well, I mean, not
Yeah,
out of
that's
control,
crazy.
but yeah, that's when things got nuts, because, then you're installing, 7, 8 houses a day between the crews, and things got real fun. But for the most part, I kind of just had my jump off guys moonlight with me over at Let's Get Lit.
So
It
you
worked pretty good.
basically just threw them up on ladders.
Yeah. Yeah. And just made sure, um, I kind of do things backwards, right? Because I like to work. So, and I enjoy the work. So I go do the big monsters, the big houses, the hard jobs, that kind of stuff. And then I send them out to go do some 1-story stuff, some little bit of ladder work. I try to keep them off the roofs. I just, if they stay with me next year, it'd probably be a different story, because they'll be a little versed, little better versed in it. But
Do you have roofing experience?
no, I started a Christmas light company without a car and without a ladder.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's,
my next door
that's
neighbor, like, I just quit my corporate job. We were walking back from the bus stop, right? Because I was taking my kindergartner to the bus stop once I didn't have to go to freaking work every day. I was just trying to figure out what businesses to start, and the jump off had, I think, 3 slides at the time, maybe, and right? So it was teeny tiny. So I was putting together swing sets on the side, building bikes. And then I was reselling stuff like crazy. I'd literally drive around with the jump off trailer on trash day and fill it up, take it home, clean the stuff up, sell it on eBay, just whatever I could do. My next door neighbor, Lori, says that she always has a hard time getting her husband to put up her lights. And so she said, I bet people would pay you to put up lights. I was like,
That's wild.
that's goofy. Came inside, made a Facebook post, and was hanging lights about 2 days later. And then I borrowed a ladder, I borrowed a truck, and then I used that money to buy my own ladders. And then I bought a little Jeep right at the end of the season with some inheritance money that we had gotten. And then just kind of scaled it the next year. And then this year we went bonkers with it.
That's the way to go, man. Yeah, I've been growing my party rental company slowly, just accumulating stuff the same way. So I think it works the same way with Christmas lights almost. I'm curious how much like breakage there is. Is it probably not much if you get the plastic ones, right?
Yeah, the bulbs are extremely high quality, and there's a couple different brands, that I stick to. Really, there's two brands that I've really like the best. They don't break. Every now and then you get a bad bulb and you screw it in and it doesn't pop on, but it's super rare. The issue that you get is like, do you know what a dormer window is? Like, so that the roof comes across, and there's like a little random window that pops out the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And so those dormer windows don't ever have gutters on them. They always have shingles. And so you get those dormer windows, the clips you use to slide into the shingles blow off. And you got to go freaking, right? I had to drive 40 minutes to go put up 2 bulbs the other day.
You got to bolt them in somehow, probably in the dormers.
Yeah, so what I do is here, I got one right here. So I use these little, right, binder clip. Everybody knows what a binder clip is. And so the little, I wish I had one here, but it's a little plastic. It's got 2 little plastic kind of teeth, if you will, that are about the size of your fingers. And they slide under, and then it's got a piece that comes up that the bulb sticks out of, right? So then the bulb's facing the street this way.
Yeah.
So then I just take these and clamp them onto the shingle part where it slides in, or I clamp them right onto the wire, and way less issues. And I kind of discovered that at the end of the season. And so the early season stuff was what was blowing down, but I just send them with 2 boxes of these things. I just buy them on Amazon in bulk now. Just go here, put as many up as you need so they don't fall down. Because getting those calls is just like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's where it really starts eating the pocket.
Yeah, because you don't want to send your guys to go do it because you got to pay them. So then you try to go do it yourself, and then your whole day goes to shit because you got to go drive out 40 minutes to put up 2.
Your time's worth a bunch of money too.
Mm-hmm. But you charge them $1,800, so it's like you get there day of if you can.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you guys have any comments or questions or anything like that, go ahead and put them in right now. Just go ahead and ask us. We'll throw them up on screen. We'll try and ask them. We do this live stream every week. If you don't know that, not me and Nick, but he's more than welcome to join us every week too. Just me and other people. I think Adam might come on a little bit later. Yeah, we just talk about party rental stuff. We get nerdy about tents and events and other things like that. What else do we do here on the channel? I got the newsletter. Check this out too. If you haven't seen this yet, everybody. Text that phone number. Get deals every month. New deals every month. Deals every month. Different things every month. Going to this, they'll send you the website once you text this phone number.
I'm texting it right now.
Sign up for it. It's free. Yeah, you gonna do it?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you today. I had that on my list to ask you because you were talking about it the other day. And I was like, I actually don't know where to sign up.
Yeah, it's insane. There's a whole bunch of different people on there. Like Jump Orange is on there. A couple of like BCN is on there. IO's on there. Event Hawk's on there. Fix My Inflatables on there. Urban Hippo's on there. Foam Daddy's on there. There's a bunch of different things in the newsletter.
I'm in.
Talk a little bit about your channel too.
Yeah, so the channel, man, that has been such a fun freaking project. I started it because I used to have a corporate job where I'd have, like this time of year, I'd have 500 employees, underneath me. about 25 direct reports, but I'd go travel the stores and just teach people stuff like crazy the whole time. And once I left that, I've never been happier, never missed any of corporate life. It's just not for me, long story short. But the only thing that I kind of did have like a little bit of a longing for was teaching or mentoring people. Just you teach somebody something that changes their life, or you see that aha moment in their face, and it just was so rewarding. So I'd been toying with starting the YouTube channel for a long time. I just kind of didn't know what content to pump out. Then when I started hiring new guys for the jump off and teaching them how to roll, how to do everything that I do, I'm like, bingo, there it is. And so started the channel. I had some small little goals, absolutely crushed them. And I've just, really enjoyed being on camera, and I was a little bit more comfortable with that than I thought I was going to be. You got to find your voice. You got to make some shitty videos and post them, and nobody watches them and whatever.
I was scared crapless, and then Adam literally put me on for first. I was really quiet and all that, and like I'm a really loud, obnoxious person in person too. So like, it's crazy how much like I even on camera now, like the camera, like live camera, makes me like a little less wild than I really am in person. Like you see me at IAPA and stuff, but
that's funny.
Yeah, it's fun. I know exactly what you mean there.
Yeah, and so now like we shot a video the other day doing Christmas lights. It was like the last house we were running the whole season. I had Brooke, she was off work of her real job, so she came over and shot a whole bunch of content, and she's putting it together right now. I'm hoping it'll be done this week and we can get it up this week. But it was just like, I feel so comfortable in front of a camera now. It's wild. I never, I didn't think that would happen. But anyways, yeah. And so I wanted to, I'm a person that like, I set a lot of goals for myself, but I don't really care about them. And I know that kind of sounds weird, but it's like, as soon as I want to, start this YouTube project, I'm like, well, I'm going to get to 1,000, right? Because 1,000 subscribers, where you're going to monetize. I don't want the money. I don't care about the money. Like, it just, I
still
need that.
Monetize my channel. Adam's gonna be mad. He's in the background. He's
Yeah,
like, I wanted to do that like last week.
Yeah, you got to monetize it because your ad revenue is going into Google's pocket.
Yeah, I know.
Go get your cut of that because
I know I got to. It's not my biggest thing. I really try to educate everybody. My newsletter is how I make money off these different companies getting into it.
Oh, you're right.
By presenting them to other people and giving them value to you guys, to other companies. That's how I don't. But yeah, I got to. I'm stupid, right, Adam?
Well, honestly, it's not that much money.
Yeah, it ain't that much money either.
Yeah.
Oh no.
A couple $100.
Yeah,
I eat a lot, man. A couple $100. So
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what's going on? I wasn't watching in the beginning.
We all got our own company shirts on today. Look at that.
I always have this on. My girlfriend's upset.
I know, me too. Dirty. Like, I mean, I'm either in this or a Let's Get Lit shirt pretty much 24/7.
Yeah. Hey, nice to meet you, Nick.
Yeah, what's up, Adam? How are you?
I'm in a Carhartt shirt most of the time, or this stuff.
Right.
I like Carhartt.
Nick's gonna come on my other channel and talk about the lighting business, right? We talked about that, didn't we?
Yep. Yeah. We can go as in depth as you want. I got all sorts.
Yeah, there's a little teaser on this before, but you'll go more in depth on your channel, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then I'm taking a page out of Justin's. Justin made a comment earlier that I could fill an entire YouTube channel with just interviews with bounce house people. So I'm gonna make a 11th channel.
Don't do a channel. Just do a playlist on the interview channel.
I don't know, because the interview channel is more like businesses, all general, all over the place. I don't want to like dilute it with just bounce houses. So I'm making an 11th channel about bounce houses only.
Love it.
Just interviewing people.
Don't you need separate phones for each YouTube channel though?
No, not anymore. It was. Yeah.
Oh, they separated? Oh, I'm not going to
I had to use like my friends. I had to use my office one. But now I've just been using the same number.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple things so let me know. Let me know in the comments here if you'd like to see the podcast separated, because I was thinking about separating that off my channel to a separate channel.
I don't think you need to do that one because it's still in line. It's not diluting your channel at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to like keep the like you have the one channel for more educational stuff, and I have one just for an actual podcast that we talk about every week.
Right. Is this on Facebook too? Because I'm not
Yep.
seeing any comments. Isn't?
Yeah, we got this one. This one's. Have you gotten programmable lighting yet?
No, I have not yet. I have looked into it. That stuff is expensive. Holy shit. So I charge, like a small house like we can do from like a one story or like a a step ladder or whatever. We'll charge like $6 a foot. Big dog, like I did like a legit mansion would blow your brains if you saw this house. We did $10 a foot. That's like kind of the delta of how much I charge. Those programmable stuff, you're talking $25 a foot. I mean, it's brutal. A small house is $2,500. I looked into becoming an installer for that. Mainly, and I don't know, maybe rich people will pay for it, maybe they won't, but it's mainly going to be commercial, right? So car dealerships, maybe you can get some government buildings, that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I looked into it, and you got to go do all sorts of courses or whatever, and I was just too busy at the time. But I do have people that reach out, businesses that reach out that want to leave their Christmas lights up all times, right? And we go out and we switch the bulbs. So they'll be all like I did a veterinary clinic, and we did a multi-pattern. So it's green, white, red, orange, and blue. And then we switched to Mardi Gras bulbs after Christmas, and then we can switch the colors to red, white, and blue for 4th of July, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they want to leave them up permanently. So I basically told them, I'm like, look, I'm going to warranty it for 3 months. After 3 months, you become the owner because I'm not being responsible for any fires. You're not supposed to leave Christmas lights up 24/7. The option is, so if a business wants to do that, you're supposed to sell them the $25 a foot thing. And it's just a whole different ball game that I definitely am looking at, but haven't got into yet.
So wait, by programmable lights, does he mean like you can just switch them like that? It can be green, and then you come back and switch it to blue, whatever.
It's a permanent install. They don't go on the house like a normal Christmas light where it's not going to be hanging on the shingles or the gutters, but it's going to be like, it's hard to explain, but it's kind of up under the soffit, if you will.
Okay.
And then, they have an app on the phone, and you can just tell it you want red, white, blue, red, white, blue, red, white, blue, or red, red, white, white, blue, blue.
That's
you can
cool.
just do anything you want.
Where do you live? Where's your main service area?
So I live in a little town called Madisonville, Louisiana. It's in kind of like New Orleans metro, if you will. It's all kind of difficult to explain, but there's a big lake right above New Orleans, and I'm on the north side of that lake. So we're on the north shore. So it's kind of like, this is all normal suburbia over here. It's not crazy goofy like New Orleans. And so that's mainly, if you look up like Mandeville or Covington, Louisiana, that's really the main service area. But for lights, I go to Baton Rouge, and I'm looking for a partner in Baton Rouge. I've got 2 different people I'm supposed to meet with, see if we can set up a partnership for next year to where I'll do all the hard work. They just go do the installs. And then same for New Orleans proper. I've got 2 people I'm going to interview with for that, so we can set up a partnership over there. The money in New Orleans is crazy because every single customer is going to go from Christmas to freaking Mardi Gras bulbs. And so it's like, $400, $500, $600, $700 upsell to switch bulbs, but it's an hour, it's 50 minutes away. New Orleans is 50 minutes away. So we'll see where that goes.
Interesting. So
Likes to go to the music.
The music.
Yeah, so all that shit. So when people are like, hey, I want my lights programmed to me, I go, no. I can run lights on a house so fast it would boggle your mind. So I'm like, I make money running lights on houses, and we do bushes, we do trees, we do all that stuff too. But it's like, would they want the radio station and all that? I'm like, man, I'm not a hacker, so no. But
talk to somebody in the stagehand union.
Yeah, it's like not my ball game, but
probably hire them. They're not working all the time. You could probably hire somebody to do it.
Right. Yeah, but you buy this little box. I mean, you can buy it on Amazon. It's like $150 maybe. It's called like Mr. Christmas or something, like Mr. Christmas Light, something like that. all your shit plugs into that, and then it'll twinkle your lights to the tune of reindeers or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And that box will play music, but it's obviously not very loud. So then from there, if you can do the hack thing where you do the radio station and all that, but you got to have like the antenna and whatever. But that's how you do it. I don't know how to do it, nor do I ever plan on ever doing it.
Where do you get your lights from?
So my favorite, basically, I actually kind of have three favorite websites now. So my number one favorite is ChristmasLightContractorsUSA.com. It's the longest URL in the universe. But if you go there, you know, it's easy to shop. The stuff they sell is trustworthy. It's great stuff. And then the guys that run it, the two guys that run it are absolutely awesome. Other one that I discovered this year that I really like is called Lights at Wholesale. They're based out of Utah, and I'm from Utah, born and raised. So I got a little small spot in my heart for them. But Lights at Wholesale is cool. They got free shipping on everything over $400, which I spent $40,000 on Christmas lights this year. So I got free shipping from them a whole bunch. And then another new one I discovered like right at the end of the season was, I think it's MurphyChristmasLighting.com. They're an installer based out of Dallas, I believe, but they also have a wholesale side, and they did a bang up job. I was really impressed with their customer service. But those are my three favorite.
Right. There's a company that we use in the tent world, actionlighting.com. But they're mostly for Christmas lights.
Okay.
Then they have a tent division.
That's
I'm assuming you buy a big giant spool, 500 feet SPT2 wire.
Yeah, I buy 1,000-foot SPT1. The SPT2 is real thick, so we just run SPT1 for Christmas lights.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And then it already has the sockets on it, and then you can cut and put the female plugs, male plugs, wherever you need.
Yep, that's exactly how we do it. And so some of the big companies will pre-assemble there, so they'll pay their guys to make 50-foot or 100-foot sections, and they wind it up in big 50-gallon like trash cans, and then they go out and they build their stuff with that. We build all of ours on site just because we're smaller.
Right.
We literally custom build in the front yard.
They have to be double wired, right? Because so one goes out, they all don't go out.
Yeah, so they're
you use SP instead of having thicker wire going through just one line and having them come down. You have two wires basically running around, right?
Yeah, so it's two. Like I wish I had some of my stuff with me, but it's all at the freaking warehouse. But yeah, so it's two wires, and then you split them on the end. You cut it, split it on the end, and then that's how you put your vampire plugs on. Right. And so yeah, if one bulb goes out, one bulb goes out. Like it's not stringer shit from Home Depot where it's the three wires.
Yeah.
In series, yeah.
It's smaller wire, but because ours is just thicker wire, but it doesn't spiral or anything like that. It's just one line. It still doesn't go out if one goes out.
So
yeah, same deal.
If you're doing a house and we got a big long roof line, but then like three pieces that stick out, and it comes up and there's windows. What do you do? Run a full line all the way down, and then everywhere we got to go up to decorate the the roof line that sticks out for the windows. Do you put a female plug, then go back up and around, or like?
Yeah, essentially, it kind of like that's kind of the fun of it. Like, and that's one of the hardest things actually to train is, we look at a house and my admin does everything from the office where she measures everything. She sends the quotes, complicated stuff she'll send to me for approval, but most of the stuff she's pushing out. Right. And so I'm seeing a picture of the house, the morning of, it comes to the group text. Here's what Nick's installing today. Nick's truck's doing today. And then you get to the house and then you find where your plug is. And then you kind of design, you design everything from there. And you just think, okay, I'm going to come up with power wire here. I'm going to run this gutter this way. And then I'm going to, inline female off to get to this other gutter up here. And then you just really build it as you go. And it's like, to me, that never stops being fun.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So if you got a stretch of lights, a stretch where there's going to be no lights at all, are you running the wire with the sockets on it, or are you running just plain wire for that little?
So you can do one of two things. So you can run. So I buy a spool about You can buy them in 250 or 500 foot lengths, but it's SPT1 with no sockets.
Yeah.
And so you can run that. If you got to go far, you run that, right? Anything over 2 feet, probably, you run that, and you tuck it in and you make it, you hide it and you try to make it look good. If you're just going to go up a little jump where it just comes to the end and then jumps up, what you'll do is that off. And so you can, inside there's little clips that clip the socket on, and you just take your flathead screwdriver and just pop those, and the socket will pop off. And then I just hit it with some electrical tape, and then it's just cheaper because each one of those freaking female plugs and male plugs is anywhere between 60 cents to $1. So you can pop that socket off and tape it. Way quicker, way cheaper, way easier.
Right. You might want to check out Action Lighting for their sockets at least then, because I know their sockets are way less than that.
That's cool.
The male and female vampire. What?
Okay.
It's like $2-3 for the whole bag.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's been a while. I bought a long time ago, so it's been a while since I bought it, but who knows now?
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm always on the prowl for better, right? Because you're gonna, like I said, this year I spent like $42,000 or something, and so if you can get
the house owners get to keep those lights at the end of the season, or you take them back.
Yeah, I take them down and store them for them all year, and then we go put them back up. And so, yeah, you do get people. I had the last client that I had to ask for lights or ask for a bid. I was just like, dude, I'm tired. So he's getting the full thing. So it was like a $1,900 bid. And he's like, yeah, we talked to the wife. We're super happy. The only thing we want to change is, we'll pay you that. You'll come back and put them up, and then you don't have to do anything again. We'll take them down. We'll store them. And I'll just put them back up myself next year. And I tell people, I'm like, man, I'm not licensed, or I'm not insured for that. And the product is not made to be a product that is sold like that. Like, I can't just sell it to a homeowner and walk away, right? It's not got the little UL tag on it. It's not been inspected for, resale. It's all part of the service, and everything's covered as long as it's me touching the lights. As long as I'm the only one, right? Me and my guys are the only ones that touch the lights, we're good. So there is no, you get to buy it from me and do it all yourself.
Right, because your hope is you've set this all up. You got female plugs, male plugs, everything where you need them so that it goes with how they want the outline of their house. Your hope is that they just rent from you again next year because you already have their house in a bin.
Yeah, and from a business standpoint, like the year one, don't get me wrong, we make plenty of money year one, but year two it's literally 100% profit minus the gas, and then minus the wages you're paying the guy to put it back up if you're not doing it yourself. Right. So from a business standpoint, it does make more sense to do it the way we do it. But I don't want to be held liable for this guy, right? I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to try and put his own plugs on. He's going to try and plug more shit into it and run incandescents off of it. You just don't know. And next thing you know, it starts a fire, and then who's on the hook. It's just kind of like, it's one of those things like another thing, nah.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
It makes sense. And it's a good way to just keep them in line to the good paying opportunity.
Yeah. So we have, and a lot of us guys in the tent business have these lights, these strands. They got the little hook on them so you can put them on the shingles or whatever. And my friend explored it one year because, he literally had tens of thousands of feet of, these lights. And then he was like, nope, never again. And then from him, I was like, all right, he said never again. And he did a lot of business that year. I was like, I'm just not going to try it.
It's hard. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, why do I like it so much? I have no freaking idea.
Right.
But it's hard. You're going, I keep myself in shape. I work out, 6 to 7 days a week. Once Christmas light season hits, I work out 0 days a week.
Right.
Because you got to run. Like, our biggest ladder we have is a 32-footer. And so it's like, I had a house where I had to run like 60 feet of lights probably across the whole gutter with this 32-foot ladder. And this house is massive. And so my other helper, I'm like, dude, I'm soloing this ladder because I need you over there building power cords. I need you, finishing up over there so we can get the hell out of here because we got 2 more houses to go do. So I'm moving a 32-foot ladder 3 feet go up, clip 3 lights, 4 lights, come down, move it. I mean, it's brutal.
Right. Well, fortunately, it's not too cold. And
Right.
where me and Justin are from.
Yeah. I don't know how.
It's like, what does it say right now? 25 degrees.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
you get them up well in advance, though.
Yeah. I mean, this year I was dying. I was up on roofs getting sunburned and burned by the shingles because it was so warm down here,
Really?
man.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and shorts, and you're installing in shorts, and you got to go. You don't really think about this, until you start doing it, but you got to go through the bushes all the time, right? Your ladder's on the bushes, or there's a spiky holly tree or whatever, and it's
right.
82 degrees. You're in shorts and a short sleeve shirt, just getting torn up.
So that bounce house that you picked up for free, I just saw the video like an hour ago. Did you clean it yet?
No, my guys are going to clean it tomorrow. I posted the video of how dirty it was. It was like, I got there and was like, woo.
How'd you get that for free?
So I'm a big fan on karma, right? I like to just give as much as I can and be as nice as I can and whatever. So I have, they live in my neighborhood, but they're our good buddies. They own a lawn care company. And this slides at one of their clients' house, and she said she wants it gone and she can't get it to the curb to throw away, and and they're like, slow down. And so they were like, if you can go get it. I'm like, give me your number. You know what I mean? I started talking to her, and it turns out it's an 18-foot water slide that, it's, I think, 2 years old. It was tent and table when I got there. I thought it was, and then I got there and it was. And so basically it just kind of was like, I don't know, fell in my lap.
Did she buy it, like, to use?
Her husband, yeah. So her husband had bought it 2-ish or so years ago for their family to use, right? Which means it's in the worst condition it could possibly be in. You know, I love when people are like, I'm selling a bounce house and it's just been used by my own kids. Like, you're like, bro, that means it's in worse condition than if it's been rented out. Trust me.
Right.
But yeah, and so, but she's just like, yeah, if you can come get it, I said, yeah, absolutely. So we set it up. I was supposed to go last week, and then she texted me, my neighbor's taking it, never mind. I'm like, dude, I had the trailer hitched up, I had the Jolly Dolly ready to go. So I took it back. I took all that shit back to the warehouse, and then she texted me like 3 or 4 days later. She's like, fell through. If you can come get it. I'm like, I'll be there tomorrow. And so then, so I went and picked it up today. We're going to polish it up tomorrow and see if we can salvage it. I don't know, dude. The leaf stains look pretty gnarly.
Sitting in our yard for 2 years.
And she was a fast talker, right? She wasn't from Louisiana. She was from out west, so she talked fast. But she said they lived in Albuquerque. They lived in Vermont or something, and she made it kind of sound like this slide was moving with them everywhere. And then her kid came out, and so I didn't get the full story. But it sounded like this slide had kind of traveled with them, I guess. I don't know.
Jesus.
Right. Yeah. Ship chemicals with 2 P's. Ship. They have a lot of things that might get those leaf stains out. Obviously, the best thing is UV lights and, the sun. And then if you don't have that, UV lights get leaf stains out. But then Ship has a few things. They have a citrus one, which will help. You basically, if you just call them and tell them what the material is and what the stain is, they'll hook you up with the right solution to get rid of that stuff.
Tico Solutions working on bounce house
right.
and leaf stain remover too.
Okay. Well, they don't have it yet. So Tico, Teeco. They make washing machines for tents. They have a lot of chemicals too, but right now I know Ship chemicals with 2 P's. They have stuff to get leaf stains out.
Beautiful. Yeah, we're gonna see what we can do to this thing, because it's kind of like, it's an 18-foot slide. If I can put it in,
Action Rides has a leaf stain remover too.
Oh yes, I have seen that product. I've never used it, but I have seen it.
You haven't used that yet either.
I'm trying to get free bounce houses.
Right, dude. I'm like, if I can get into the fleet. I mean, my 17-foot Big Kahuna was my crappiest water slide. Last season it did like $6,200 or $6,300, something like that. And then my Tiki Plunge, so random, Tiki Plunge 18-footer with deep pool, I bought on a freaking whim. That thing was my best slide by a mile. It did like 11,500, I think, this season.
Nice.
Yep.
It was running like 3 times a weekend, every weekend. It was nuts.
Yeah, I was getting my water slides are all going nuts. Both of my jump orange units were going crazy this year.
So Nick, you're gonna start doing tents?
I have looked into it deeply. Last year, I think it was before I bought the foam machine, I was kind of like, whatever, you gotta get that itch where, not that I'm bored with bounce houses and slides, but it's kind of like, okay. And I started looking into it, and I was like, okay, that's not like just hop right in from bounce houses to tents. I'm like, that's a whole, they feel very similar until you look into it, and then it's like, wait a minute, that's a whole new ball game.
They're different hours and different days though, so it does work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you're gonna be setting your tents up.
Yep.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Your bounce house is going out Friday, Saturday. You know, you don't have to pick your tents up till Sunday, Monday.
And anything in the weekend or anything during the week, you can either just toss in the truck or the tent.
Yeah, you can do both at the same time, obviously.
You have a bounce house any day, but a bounce house guy, you have to trade him on tents.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of where I was like, all right, that learning curve looks steeper than a foam machine. I'm like, okay, I can figure that out by plug that thing in. Let's have a little foam party for.
Yeah, I just made my whole crew tent, guys.
Yeah.
I just forced it.
One of the things about tents that I don't remember why or how I know this, but was storage and transportation is much different with a tent than a bounce house.
You put it in a bag.
Yes or no?
You put it in a bag.
Yeah. You just make sure you put it in a bag.
I don't care what all you guys bounce house guys say, but I've been acquiring bounce houses and acquiring more. I'm buying bags for them, guys. I don't fucking care.
All right, you're stupid. That won't last.
Yeah, you don't
that
think?
Won't last. Calling it out right here, that won't last.
Where you buy them on eBay?
You don't need it because listen, the reason we don't use bags for inflatables is because 1, they're not white. 2, the bottom of the inflatable is twice as thick as the outside of the inflatable.
I get you. I've seen enough posts.
When you roll it out, but you more likely to damage an inflatable when you don't roll it correctly and you have a blower tube sticking out or something like that, or the edge of it and it getting nicked on the inside. Like when it gets nicked, it always gets nicked on the outside. If you get a cut in the bottom of the bounce house, half the time you don't even have to repair it or patch it because the air pressing on it won't even affect the air in a bounce house.
I'm just saying the bags aren't that expensive from Brian over at Rental Innovations. Yeah. I'm just gonna bag them. Plus, I can label the bags.
The bag is a little bit it's just annoying because if you don't roll big enough to go in the bag, when it's wet and soaking wet, you're gonna put this soaking wet water slide inside a bag.
I've seen enough videos or pictures of people and being like, oh, I scraped this against the trailer and now there's a big hole in it. I'm like, well, just get yourself a bag.
And it's always on the bottom of the inflatable.
Hey, it's a $50 bag.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, are you gonna put your stuff in bags ever?
No, dude, I'm addicted to speed. I gotta go fast, and that's just gonna slow me down.
It's not happening, dude.
It's just more shit I gotta carry.
Tents are different because it's white. You will spend more time cleaning them than if you just put it in a bag.
I don't know.
But I fully support you and your bags though. Like let's make no mistake here. If you can shift paradigms and bring bags, into the forefront, I support 100%, and I will admit when I'm wrong if I'm wrong.
Right, you can't get them back in the bags that they come in. I know this. You can barely get tents back in the bags they come in. I'm gonna buy Brian's purple bag.
Yeah. The problem is then you put it on your electric dolly and the bag's like saggy, so then it goes into your wheels.
So you just don't know how to get the bag that's not saggy. You gotta lift it up, spin. Like that, and it's nice and tight.
We're in New York, so you're gonna learn fast too that an inflatable rolled in the summer is a totally different size than an inflatable rolled in the winter.
Oh, I know. That's how tents are too.
This summer they're like this, and then the winter they're like this.
That's what I'm
Whatever.
saying.
I know you guys. I know all the bounce house people don't like bags, and no one uses bags. Me and Brian are on the same page. I'm just gonna bag it.
Brian sells bags.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on your page.
Well, I'm on the protection page. I'm gonna protect the thing.
it doesn't. It's the bottom of the thing. It's an easy patch. It's so simple to patch if it gets
I get it.
the bottom.
I get it. The one that the guy just sent to me for free. I got a free bounce house recently too. It's only a 10 by 10. But it didn't have a bag, and I'm all upset about that. Adam, it don't work like that. I use bags for storage only. I don't care, dudes. I come from that thing better be in a bag. That's my world. If it's not in a bag, you're in trouble. And if you forgot a bag, you better get it up off the bottom of the truck somehow.
Yeah.
But anyways, to answer your question, so everything you do in the tent world is going to need to be bagged. Even if you take your sidewalls and throw them in the truck and they fall and touch the bottom of the truck, they're just going to be dirty.
Tarp or no tarp?
Oh, dude. Anybody that's ever visited or lived in southern Louisiana knows you tarp. It's muddy right now, and it's December 22nd. You tarp. Now, I'll say this. Once I switched to lights and Jacob was running everything, he called me once. I was on a roof. He's like, "Boss, I didn't tarp anything today." I said, "Jacob, I don't." Right? I tarp them because it keeps them cleaner. You're the one that's got to clean them. So if you don't want to tarp them, I don't. Do you? But for me, dude, I tarp everything, and you got to tarp the whole entire unit down here because it's so muddy. Water slides especially. If I'm from out west, I don't know that I would tarp really that often. And if it's a water slide, I would probably just tarp where the kids are getting out of the pool or getting off the slide. But down here, the whole yard turns into a muddy mess.
I don't so I'm more of the system. Like I think Leisure and Bouncing Angels both have a system where they have mats that Velcro to the water slides in areas where they just run through. So you don't have to have a bunch of it. It's ATSM standards because it's attached to the tent and table has it too. They have its standard is like it's attached to the inflatable so it can't come off. And it's like a built-in tarp and it has anchor points around it so you can actually just actually have that thing down. It's still a slight tripping hazard. I would go down that route. I am not a tarping guy. If you're gonna put it directly in mud, I know it's gonna happen. There's a tarp on a truck, but I really don't like to use it.
Someone's commenting 500-pound bounce in a bag. Yeah, right. I don't think you've seen these bags. I keep sections of 40 wides together, so it's faster going up next time. And they're way more than 500 pounds when you keep that many sections together. And they all fit in these bags that I'm buying. So any bounce house you throw at me is going to fit in these bags that I'm buying.
Remember this next year. I will bet up after a month you are not bagging.
It doesn't matter. I'm putting up all the money. Someone else is running it. That's my rule. The thing's got to be bagged. He's going to bag it every time.
Yeah, right.
That comment was from Randy. Okay.
Tarps. This guy's a tarp guy.
Tarper. I'm a tarper, man. It just makes my life so much easier. Slower, though. That it does kill me. It does break my heart, right? Because I like speed.
I don't like tarps.
But
I use giant stakes for bounce houses. I use 10 stakes.
Oh yeah, those are legit.
Yeah, I don't mess around. I don't think I'm going to though. I think I'm gonna get some smaller stakes next year.
18-inch.
Giant fat ones and stuff though, still, but like not the like small. It'd just be a little bit faster to go through. You gotta use more of them though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use my tent stakes.
It's easy for a 4-prong bounce house. It's just weird.
Is that your link to bags?
No, this is my link to shirts. Tarp life versus tarping sucks. I got an Amazon merch store, so I made shirts. One of them says #tarp life and the other one says #tarping sucks.
That's funny. I need to buy each for all my guys, then they can choose which one they want to wear today.
Right. I haven't decided what I'm going to do when I start doing it.
What size bag do you use for a 20 by 20 tent top? I just asked Brian, and he tells me. It doesn't
Yeah.
fit well on him.
So for my 20 wides, I do a little different. 30 wides and up, I buy tents. I buy tent bags from either Brian or Argo Bag. I generally just like to get the biggest bag, but Brian's biggest bag is huge. It's purple. It's super huge. His next biggest bag is orange. Orange will fit anything. But my 20 wides, I actually, when I'm ordering them, I tell Eureka, because I buy my 20 wides from Eureka Tents, I say, hey, I want this bag to be gray, and I want you to make it a little bit bigger than you normally would. Because, same thing with Bounce House, when they're cold, they don't really roll up that well. So I have them color coded. So all my 20 by 20s are in a gray bag, and the bag is a little bit bigger than what they would normally send it in. And then all my 20 by 30s are in a red bag, and all my 20 by 40s are in a like orangish bag.
You want to say hi?
So, what are some of your biggest lessons learned over the years?
This is my dude right here, my oldest son. I haven't seen him in days. He's been next door at the next door neighbors. He works for the Jump Off too in the summertime.
Nice.
You want to say
hi? You like having premium bounce house access?
Okay, I'll get you some medicine in a minute, okay?
But, so what was I going to say? So what are some of the biggest lessons learned over the years? Delegation, being able to delegate things that I don't want to do onto other people.
Mine is know when to branch out and know when to not. A lot of times you want to get, I'm going to say tents and bounce house world. So in the tent world, you want to get shibari chairs, you want to get clear tents, you want to get sailcloth tents, you want to get crazy stuff that you see other people have, and they kind of rent out for a lot. But then you get them and you're realizing, man, they go out like only once a month, and sure, they make good money, but I could have been making way more money if I just stuck to the basics. Or in the bounce house world, you got 3 units, a combo, a water slide, and whatever, and then you want to get the Velcro wall and this and that. Like, max out your potential in the basic stuff, the bounce house, the combo, the water slides. Max that out before you start deciding to add in, the obstacle courses and the crazy things that aren't going to go out all the time. Just like narrow your focus, maximize that. And then once that's maximized, then start to spread out into those other areas.
Yeah, definitely agree with that one. Mine's going to be, stay curious. Good technique is going to beat any sort of muscle or power any day of the week. And then you can also probably save yourself some money not buying crazy, goofy things like winches for combos or whatever. If you just stay curious and just tweak, and figure out the better way to do it, before you know it, you're going to be, a master, and you'll realize that once you start hiring people and start teaching the stuff you do, you'll realize how complex everything you do is, but how much it makes sense and makes your life easier than when you try and watch that new person do it not the way you explained it to them. It really hits home that you're like, okay, I'm like a bounce house assassin and I didn't even know it.
Right.
Tico Solutions makes tent washers.
Well, if you're looking for someone to clean your tents, if you go to Tico's website, they have a list of everyone in the country who has a tent washer and offers tent washing. Usually it's the biggest guys in your area, and you're going to pay 25 cents to 35 cents a square foot to clean it. Basically one rental price to clean it, but they come out like really good.
Yep. Can you franchise an event rental company? People do it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Rental was like the biggest one. They do tools and party rental. I think you wouldn't want to buy into a franchise. I think you can start one much cheaper for yourself than
you're better off doing your own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've looked into franchising
or stuff like that. I wouldn't buy into a franchise unless it's like you're already paying for the brand name and it's already known everywhere.
Right. There is
SEO and stuff.
There is a tent company you do it in order to offer their tents. You have to buy in their franchise. It's called Sperry Tents. They have sailcloth tents. Every other company's copied their sailcloth tents, but it's not the same. They actually make their tents out of sail material. And if you want to offer their tents at a premium, you have to buy into their franchise to do it.
Power dolly question mark. You living under a rock?
Depends. I tell people like this: if you've got a crew of guys that does your drops for you, maybe they beat that shit up, and they're out there hustling with 2 guys per drop anyway. If you're doing your drops, 110% power dolly today, no question.
I just like to remind people that this thing's worth more than their car.
Yeah, I know. I get tired. I'm like, dude, would you stop? Like, you treat it well, man. Like, if you break that, you realize, I'm just like, no, I don't even send my guys
Honestly,
with
though,
anymore.
with the amount of money, the amount of money you make having it though, because your guys aren't tired, so they can do more work. Like either way, just even if you bought a new one every year, and people in this industry do.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like in my world, if you got to bring 500 chairs in a backyard, once you get back there, you realize either one way or the other you're going up or downhill on setup or pickup. Like it's going to save a lot of time and a lot of energy having that power dolly. Fortunately, I had this one kid named Ethan who treated the job as a gym, and he wanted to do everything. And he's like, "I'll do it. That's hard. I'll do it." But I did just buy 2 power dollies for these hills and things.
That's funny. I have an Ethan too, and he's a bodybuilder or a power lifter. He's huge.
Best manufacturer. I like Granite. But Jerry Shepherd's definitely in there, and Jolly Dolly's up in there too. They're free when it comes to. Then there's Wholesale's pretty decent. Then
I don't know.
Badass Dolly guy.
Don't know about them yet. I'm supposed to have a talk with them. I saw them at IAPA.
They're newer too.
Supposed to have a talk with them. They're half the price of Granite, and they can more customize your unit, because the ones that had IAPA had the flaps on it for bounce houses.
A lot of them were saying that those were too skinny at IAPA.
Well, I was like, dude, you can't do that for tents. I need to carry chairs. And he's like, oh, well, you could just make these flaps flat for you. It'd actually be easier. So if you want certain customizations, like some of the smaller guys, Granite is just going to be Granite's cart. That's all it's going to be. Yeah, I'm assuming Tom is the guy from Badass Dollies. I got to message him again. I messaged him twice.
I'm a Jolly Dolly fan, but Gary's in my backyard. He's his shop's 20 minutes away from me.
Yeah, that's cool. Gary's a really nice guy. I was the one to look into the Jolly Dollies too.
Yeah, I just got a manual one. I bought the tall manual one from him. He had a custom painted jump off red. I actually used it for the first time, I think yesterday, because I got a bigger shop, so I'm moving from a small storage to a big shop. And I used it, and I was like, okay, this thing's slick. And then when I used it today to go pick up that free water slide that I got, I was like, okay, this thing is, man, it is nice. I'm supposed to do. I actually had it all set up. We were supposed to do a warehouse tour and then interview we're gonna do for the YouTube channel. But then freaking Hurricane Ida came through and had different plans for us. So haven't got to that yet. Hopefully,
that'd be nice.
Yeah, right. We get real busy in spring here, April, and then May is usually our biggest month. So I'm hoping February, I gotta have to do it late February because we'll have Mardi Gras, Christmas Mardi Gras stuff going on. But I'm hoping I can do it February. It'll be a fun video because he just expanded too. He just expanded the Jolly Dolly warehouse or shop.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And Wholesale, I'm a big fan of Wholesale too. Wholesale, Tommy's really cool.
He wasn't asking. He clarified best inflatable manufacturer, and I don't know. I'm going to leave that to you guys, but I'm going to guess that's a preference.
Yeah, definitely. I love HEC. They just make some badass stuff. I just see them as a leader. You know what I mean? An industry leader in innovation and everything they do, more or less. Spacewalk is headquartered in my backyard too. They're right across the lake over in New Orleans. And they take amazing care of me. And I've always liked every unit I've ever got from them. And then Easy too. I've got a lot of Spacewalk and a lot of Easy. And Eddie at Easy has taken great care of me too. And I love the units. So those are my top 3.
When down in Napa, I was talking to some of the bigger guys that are making like a few $1 million a year doing bounce houses, and they were like, they had a philosophy on buying like big slides and stuff, and they're like, they didn't want all the palm trees and all the things that stick off. Honestly, they said this one guy was like Tent and Table. I buy them from Tent and Table because they're buying the ones without all the frills, because all the frills add weight. And he said he looks for ones that in the important parts have really heavy duty vinyl, but in the very least important parts where no one's really touching, like a lighter vinyl, and it makes everything lighter overall. So as I'm getting into this, I'm not looking at the ones that have palm trees and birds and stuff sticking out. I'm just looking for the basic, kind of like the one you just showed in your video that was dirty. That's the exact one that the guy I was talking to was buying and saying that this one is going to be lighter than those ones over there. And this is what we go for.
I rolled that thing by myself, right? And you saw how dirty it was. It was flooded inside, not super bad, but it'd been outside in the rain forever. I rolled it really quite easily. 18-footer. Yeah.
Yeah, they made a very good point to me, because you go to IAPA and you see all these crazy things. Palm trees were a big thing on a lot of the units. Just like a palm tree just sticking out at the top, which the air has to go in there and blow that thing up, and just adding unnecessary weight. Sure, it looks cool, but it's I feel it's mostly like a bunch of bounce house guys being like, I have the coolest looking unit. And I'm not sure if when you show up to someone's house, if they really even notice that.
Yeah, I get people asking for, I want something not basic all the time. Now you get a shout out.
What was that guy's name, Justin? I forgot it. We went out drinking with him one night at ARA, and then he was at IAPA too.
Greg Knight.
Yeah, okay, Greg Knight.
Greg Knight is a really good guy. He's very knowledgeable in the industry.
Yeah, he was the one telling me about getting the more basic and the ones that have the lighter vinyl and the non-important parts.
How do you price the value of your company if you're going to sell it?
They're all worth $100,000. Everybody sells it for $100,000.
I have this. I can answer this. I was just talking to my friend last night about this, and he's explored buying a lot of companies. So when you're looking at it from the buyer perspective, you have to be able to pay a price that is going to allow you to reinvest, allow you to pay yourself, and allow a little bit of profit. If you buy a company and you can't reinvest or pay yourself for 5 years, they're priced too high. So when you're selling your company, you need to think about that. Like, when I sell this guy's going to need to reinvest immediately. He's going to need to pay himself immediately and have a decent amount of profit immediately. This can't be I sell it to him and 5 years later he's going to do good. So that's how if you're trying to actually sell your company, that's how I would do it. I would price it at that point.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. Yeah.
Because we go off the inventory, what it's actually worth, not your fantasy freaking number or anything like that, like what it's actually worth, depreciation, everything. And then they go off of your website, how much that's worth, your brand name, and your amount of traffic you bring every year and stuff like that, your yearly revenue. That's what I hear a lot of people go off of too.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, the best way is to get some sort of broker in, and they will.
Yeah, if you work on your brand, you're going to be able to sell it pretty easy. You'll probably be getting offers.
Yes, if your brand is more, I mean, your brand can be more valuable than your company. People might want to just pick you or buy your company at more than what it's actually valued, because they know if they buy your company, they're going to get so much
business. The only way you're really going to sell it anyways, because anybody can just go buy the equipment.
Yeah. Well, no, a lot of people just buy up their competitors.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. And I don't know, I'd actually be interested to know somebody that has done it at a decent scale, how effective it really is.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of people start going down the route and then they just end up going to auction anyways. On big tents, I think I went up $200 to $400 on a lot of tents. 20 wides, it's kind of hard. I'm not going to take a $300 tent and bring it up to 600. I think I went up $50 on those each. Whoa, who's that?
That was me.
Oh. So 20 by 40, I think I went from 350 to 400. 30 by 60, I went from 600 to 900. 40 by 100, I went from 1450 to like 1850, something like that. Delivery fees, I haven't gone up on them. We're just making them more strict and actually, well, I guess we did go up. We're rounding up a lot more.
What percentage would you assign each? Profit, invest, and employees.
When selling?
Huh? Like, yeah. What percentage would you assign for like?
Oh, gotcha. Like
for each year
of each year,
in your money that you earn.
So I'm gonna invest as needed. Basically, I'm just buying things as I need them. And I usually know that at least 6 months in advance that I booked the job and I need this for that job. Profit, obviously, I'm going to maximize as much as I can. And employees, I'm just going to pay anything that I need to get the work done. But I think it was like 30% employees. Maybe this year it was 30% invest and then 40% profit. COVID year was an insane profit. Like you would have thought it was going to suck, but then it was amazing profit.
Is IAPA beneficial to make the trip? Hell yeah. Go every single year, see what's new, network with your peers, and learn new things. Adam thinks you should only go every like 3 years. Yep. I think you should go every year.
I think it's if you're going just to talk to people, it is fun, but you're not seeing that much year to year. That's different. I don't know. If you're going to be making a lot of purchases, you can get better deals face to face at these shows. But you need to be large enough purchases to offset the cost of going there. So I don't know, but they also have a lot of cool other things there too. Like IAPA is way more than bounce houses. Bounce houses was a small section.
And it's at Orlando, so you can spend time at Disney with your family as a write-off.
Right. Yeah. It was way more than bounce houses though.
Foam machines. So what's up? You gonna check out Foam Daddy? Nick?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to check them out. I got to get. There's no market here for foam, so I'm the only one with the machine. Everybody's like,
I know there's somebody in New Orleans that has a foam machine.
There's a company that's all they do. I wish I could remember their name.
Yeah, because I know they do the parade for Mardi Gras.
But on my side of the lake, there was nothing, and that's why it was my wife's idea to buy it. She wanted to buy it, and she was super amped about it. So I was like, whatever, we'll pull the trigger, buy this thing. I made a decent profit on it. I would say I made more money for the cost, right? Because I think it was $1,300 for the machine and the foam, and then I actually already ran them. Stand. It's like a mountain bike stand to fix your bike, but so I already had that. But I made more profit on that than I could have by buying a unit that was that same price. But I mean, I had to build the market. We didn't have a single.
Yeah, that's the only thing they don't really talk about too much. You really do have to build the market, but honestly, it builds fast.
Yeah, once we did one event at a really nice private Christian school. It randomly rented. Some mom rented it for their field day.
Yep.
And it went pretty fast after that. And so then that same school rented it for their like day camp or whatever, summer camp for like kids, have working parents. They rented it 4 weeks in a row. Right. And so then all those little kids told so it went pretty good. So I'm optimistic. I'm going to try and double next year. But it's one of those things where it's like I did enough to rent it out, and I taught myself enough to rent it out, but I did not go right because I'm a bounce house and waterside guy. Yeah, so I'm a bounce house waterside guy. So, I did some Facebook and Instagram ads, and I pushed it a little bit.
The first year, a lot of people do that with a lot of different equipment, like that, especially with new stuff. Like Adam got in the Nerf gun stuff this year. How many parties did you really do?
One.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like.
Yeah, I just didn't push it. I didn't push it. I was too busy with everything else.
Right.
You learn, you get your feet wet, you kind of, you know what I mean? You kind of do your thing. I only did like probably less than 10 foam parties this year.
Right. Yo, I'm out. Nick, I'll talk to you later about coming on something else. But
yep, sounds good, man.
All right, see you guys.
An hour. We'll get out of this too. But thank you, everybody, for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe to Nick's YouTube channel. What's your YouTube channel name exactly?
Just my name, Nick Glassett.
Yeah, I thought it was. You have to jump off everywhere, too, so I always forget the other.
We need to rebrand. I talked to Brooke about we need to rebrand a little bit because it's going
to. You could keep your YouTube channel for the party rental stuff. If it's not for your local business on there, but keep the jump stuff. So like everybody knows that on here that my company name, but I don't talk about what I do here for my local business. I don't want them catching this stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what
Jordan's had those problems too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like when we first started making a video, I was like, I don't know what the fuck to put in it. So just throw the jump off logo in there. It's all good, right? Yeah. I'm not thinking I'm gonna
get all the weird stuff too. We do for marketing and stuff like that. So it makes sense too, because then if you use, you can use it. Like it's just a little bit different. I would teach like what I personally want to do is teach customers on my local YouTube channel, not other owners. So it's a little bit different anyway.
Right.
But then it's more beneficial. But then getting people to use those videos and subscribe to them. I'll help make that site rank as a source too.
Yep. I'm with it.
So it's interesting, but check out the jump off. I love your videos, man. I love you as a person. You're a great dude. I'm glad to have you in here.
Thank you for having me.
Come in here more often and spread the news, spread the videos. Like I said, we're building the community up, and it's more of a collaboration thing. I don't want people just looking at me all the time.
Sounds good to me, man. I'm pretty much always available. So I got 2 kiddos, and you met one of them. But as long as they're at bay with the wife, then we're good.
Yeah, and post your information in the group, man. Other people love the education that you bring to the community.
Yeah, for sure. Let me see. I don't even know how to do that. Where do I post that?
You just grab the YouTube video and just throw it right in there into the Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just throw them right in there. This way people can see the videos too, and you can connect with your audience that way too. Connect with the community. Because you have a lot of good, actual, valuable questions or answers to questions, and you do you hire a video editor out to do some of your videos too. That's like really nice work, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Seriously, man. Keep up the good work, and I'm glad to have you here tonight, brother.
Cool. All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.